very controversial. So we've been speaking to him on Zoom for some time now, but today he's right here with us on Joe 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. Austine.
Kwame.
How are you doing?
Hey,
the way I'm happy.
I know. Hey. Yourself and Philip and the whole team were like, I should be able to make it. I'm like, no, don't worry. I keep to my word. You know, I've been in the position you're in sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to disappoint because, you know, when you're doing production, right, it is time bound.
Exactly.
So, like, Showbiz A to Z, you're saying that from time
I'm doing this
to that we are doing this. So why would I want to disappoint when I would not
and
want
you were
that to...
here in time.
Yeah, that is it for me. Okay, the training from multimedia as well.
Exactly.
You know, the training from multimedia as well. Nowadays, you go to other places. Where I've been a couple of places, you don't get that. But back then, when we used to do radio, you know, you had to do your show prep.
Exactly.
Because something would come up, something might happen. And especially on a program like this on a Saturday, there are a lot of activities that is social activities.
Yeah.
So your guest might be locked up somewhere, and because of these social activities too, your guest might be in traffic. So you plan with your show prep. If that happens, what do you do? And I don't want you to be doing that. That is why I said, if I'm given this time, I need to be here on time.
Guys, so I saw Austine's post on social media. I said, no, this post, the man is in Ghana. The man is in Ghana. And if he's in Ghana, he will come to the studio of Joy FM. And yeah, he's here today with us. Austine Woode is a broadcaster. Austine, how did you start radio?
It was something that I don't know, but I loved it. And you know, when multimedia opened Joy in 1995, in 1998, Kwesi Chum sent Marco Krekumante and the rest to open Love FM in Kumasi. And you see, in 1998, before Love FM came, we had the normal GBC radio, Garden City Radio, GCR was there, and the first private radio station in the Ashanti region, Otek FM. And for people who don't know,
the
first private radio in 1996.
Okay.
So just after Joy, Otek came. But people don't know Otek, you know OTEC. Otek is Oponchumesi Electrical Company. Yeah, so
it is not for tech.
No. So it's a Ponchumesi Electrical Company. So the of blessed memory. And the Dusty's boss, Mr. Ponchumesi, is passed. So he used to do transmitters and all those, and he started something like that. Then back then you had where Abeku Santana was Radio Mercury, the one which belongs to Opambo now. Back then it belonged to I think he was a chief, so it was just Radio Mercury. And
which one was the Invisible FM?
Invisible FM is what Kwesi Chum bought in 2004 and turned into Inshira FM. So multimedia purchased 104.5, which was Invisible FM back then, and turned it into Inshira FM. So in 1998, you know, that was when the infamous Doomso happened under Chairman Rawlings, then President Rawlings. And you remember that time when you were moving from Doom to Saw, it had to take you 24 hours. Not the one we have now. Back then, you know, we watched Burkina 98 AFCON. During that time, there was Doomso. France 98 so there was Doomso. Then a sister of mine, now also based in the UK, was listening to Love FM. I went to her room, and you know, using English and all that, you're a student, you endear yourself today. Exactly.
So before that, you were a student?
Yeah.
KNUST?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when that happened, I'm like, oh, okay, I liked what they did. But it was at dawn when the BBC came on, Network Africa. You know, back then was Vera Kwakofi, and at a point in time, to Kweku Sechiado, who was here, went to do something like that there. So Network Africa, they did a story, 5 minutes. I listened to it and I said, no, this is top notch. It was brilliant. So I got enthused about it. Then in 2005, I was there with my brother, my younger brother, Prophet Eric J. And Love FM played a jingle that said that they wanted who listened to Love FM more. So the best Love FM listener. Once it ended, then my brother told me, no, necessarily the owner Oberini. Yeah, because nobody listened to Love FM than
wow.
him. So Kwame, back then in Kumasi, because the Chi radio stations were huge, Abeku Santana, Kofi Kumbilson also when they brought him from Joy back to Love FM.
Love FM.
So he was doing the morning show and all those things. It was difficult getting the normal taxi drivers tuned into Love because of the English. So when I sit in a taxi, the driver is not looking, then I'll change it to Love FM. So I knew about Love FM. We had the competition and I won hands down. And I was interviewed on the BBC by Samson Ladi. Yeah, on the BBC by Samson Ladi.
Samson was then
at Love FM. Yeah, with our editor of blessed memory, Saeed Ali Yakubu. So Saeed trained Elton, Samson, said Kwambwatin, and
you mean Elton John
Broby? Yeah, he was at Love FM when he moved from Sky in Sunyani. He came to Love FM, and so all of them he trained them. And Samson, he was the BBC correspondent in Kumasi.
All right.
And Kweku Sechiado was the one in Ghana. So he interviewed me. Why that happened was when I won that Love FM thing on Friday. On Saturday, I was on the sister station in Shira to win a football competition. But Kwame, people don't know. My area of expertise is sports. Yeah.
I was about asking why you are versed in showbiz, in entertainment, in sports.
I've done everything
in politics. Current affairs
and all that. So my area of expertise is sports. The sports that I do much better with. So I won that as well. That was rather a sports competition. Then Apuzo called me, programs manager, Love FM.
Yeah.
They were introducing. Jamster had left.
Jamster.
Yeah. You know when he brought the private party, the wind up and all that. When he left, there was a huge gap. So we turned the show because it would be difficult for the one who was coming in to fill that and do same. So we turned the show into something like this, a proper entertainment, and we needed controversy. And
you were the one. Austine the controversial Woode.
When we were doing, Inshira was coming to do full-time sports. Back then Inshira did not do sports like now. Was coming to do full-time sports. I was in town and Apuzo called me. What they want to do on sports too. We want you to be there and do the controversial thing there. Yeah, so they pushed me there and I did sports as well. So I would be on Inshira. Then when there is a problem with somebody not coming in for the morning show, I would step in. So I was, we pick Joy morning show in Kumasi when Komla was there. Komla and Adakabre as well were picking in on Inshira.
All right.
So I became the producer for the super morning show in Kumasi. Yeah, so the guys in the newsroom and they know me.
They know you.
Yeah. So that is where my interest in politics and all that. Then I said, okay, I love sports. I love what I do. I play music as well. I play my own songs when I'm on radio and all that. I do all those shows. But I think that it is showbiz I'm well vexed in. I love to do because it was from childhood.
Yeah.
So you realize that when the debate over when Ghana Music Awards started, that thing I gave you, that is the paper I bought, that graphic showbiz. So all my graphic showbiz, mirror, and all that,
you have them.
I've archived them in a digital format.
Okay.
Yeah, because it got to a point I thought I might lose it.
Yes.
So I've archived them in a digital.
So you took photos of
all of that and digitized them, and I kept it. So sometimes when I go to studio, right, I have my bag like Okubako has. Yeah, I have it because I want to put things across and verify official documents and all that. But the Ghana Music Awards is what harnessed my interest in showbiz because I had followed it. And anytime I was listening to radio and people were saying things that were not it, I cringed. Like, no, that is not it.
You had a history on your
it. So somebody would be changing it and all that. So one time, I think I was called, I think, on Peace FM or something. And I did it for 45 minutes.
Hey.
Ghana Music Awards from 2000, who won, what happened on the night, the Kokesi incident, why couldn't he won, Akitesia won over Kojenchi, and we had to turn the most popular song and all that. So when I finished, I know that Samuel Beidou, you know, he's a friend as well. He was like, how are you able to know all that? Where were you? And you know what had happened? I was on Insurance Sports at that moment. So when I finished, then they called me that, no, they need me to do it. So I had to rush to the production room to do all that. So for me, the Ghana Music Awards brought my interest in showbiz, and I've never turned. But I've gotten to a point where now, Kwame, I want what we do and say to influence policy. That is where I am now. Because I was telling myself, 1994, when the infamous Nankabede Nayoya album came out, and we Daddy Lumba hardcore fans, they were teasing us. Immediately he dropped
you are a DL fan.
You know I'm the biggest one.
It explains it.
Yeah, I'm the biggest one. When the SSLC came and we also had our, like they would say, clear essay, we also attacked them. But I say to myself, 30 years down the line, the fights that we had over who was better, the ones that we had over Lord Kenya and Obrafo, the ones that we had over Reg Rockstone and the others, all of that, they did help in shaping the industry, or what did we gain from it? So now I've moved away from such discussions to more of which policy ones would inform policy makers, because I keep saying that 9 to 12 on Joy FM and Joy News, policymakers are listening to news
exactly.
And it's been like that from the days of Sonny Decker. It's been like that from the days of Francis Ankra, Nanaya Ofuriata, coming to Samson Ladi and all the rest, Kojo Ponkroma, Kwaku Sechiado. But what would policymakers say about we in the creative space? Do we have something like that? So
that is what you are sitting on.
Exactly. That is why, I'm more on this particular show than others.
That is why we call you.
Yeah, I'm more on this show than others. So sometimes Kwame will tell me, you'll come and say, this discussion would shape policy and all that. So I've moved away from this one should win this award, this one should have won, to rather, what do we do when we win?
I love that.
To project the Ghana Music Awards to a level. You know, Kwame, why do we have people not winning the Grammy, the Oscars, but they say they are Oscar nominated? They add it to their repertoire.
Yeah.
Why? Because when you just even get a nomination, it's so huge. I want us to get there with our awards, and the Ghana Music Awards is the biggest one we have.
Sure.
So the things we do, what we talk about, should be shaping the narrative, should be shaping policy. What do we do about it? Not, I have filled the stadium, I have done that. If you have filled the stadium, get me verifiable data so that I can send to the chief of staff or the finance minister that we have this. So you should increase our budgetary allocations because we are creating jobs for the Ghanaian youth. And I think this particular show does that very often. You're shaping the narrative, you're bringing policymakers on board so that we shape it. So if you ask me about it, that is how my radio journey has dovetailed into now being a discussant who wants to shape policy in the Ghanaian creative space.
All right, Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z. Austine Woode is here with us today in the studio. Have you left the UK? Okay, he's in Ghana now, but you will go back, eh?
Oh, not now.
Okay, for a while, you'll be here for a while.
Yeah, because when they say Sikaba tomatoes, so I have to go back to Akumada. I have to go back there. But you know, my uncle is the infamous Akumada tomato. Yeah, Kofi Kunedu Apreko.
Oh,
yeah. So he's my uncle.
What's that? No?
Exactly. It is when I tell you, then it's like, you look like him. Yeah, exactly. I get that often. People don't tell me, but immediately I tell them he's my uncle. And they're like, what's that? No? So Akumada tomato. So I pick that, and I would go back there and farm. But I'm here anytime.
By the way you are talking, by the time you vanish,
oh no,
we don't know.
No, I'm always available. When Philip calls, when he calls, the pressure he will put on you, you need to come. So I would be available.
Have you quit radio?
I haven't quit, but so this is why I left. I entered radio because I thought that what I wanted to say it was difficult getting through the phone lines because you had these serial callers. They have like 5 mobile phones. They are calling and all that. So I entered radio. I was able to put all that and all. But it got to a point I felt that what our people were doing, some of our people, it had changed how radio should be to inform, educate, and entertain. You have very few radio stations who have maintained that, like Joy and other brands. So I said to myself, social media was becoming very big. So let me dovetail that into social media and all that. But I haven't quit radio, or sometimes I'm invited, I come on. But I still miss it. You know, what I miss most is when on a Sunday afternoon, I have to play music and talk about the music. That is what I miss most. And you know, that is what I am noted for. Playing music and explaining the music, the lyrics, what is behind it, the history. I enjoy that because I have a very sharp memory. I remember things. So I know when a song would have been released. So when you just played Asesa, I would know that was when Morris was bringing in the Kumasi guys. Because he had brought in, he had done Yesu Wodo for Noble Nketia. He had done Esther Smith's first album, My Own Son. He had done Okonfo Kwade, that first album, Abroni Beye. Then he brought the biggest one, Kuntihine. But he also done Mr. Drew, Abiba, D. Lawal, and all that. So I have that photographic memory. So I enjoy talking about music because that nostalgia I get. And I am happy talking about creative arts. And it's not just music. Because right now, if I'm there and somebody asks me to talk about movies, you know, I would know that Silent Night, the infamous Nigeria, was released in 1995. You get that? I would know, you know, Daybreak. Oh, not that. So I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoy bringing that nostalgia. I want to know. Let me tell you this. You know how Nanama McBrown came into movies? It was Samuel Nyamiche. You know, Samuel Nyamiche had this vision that the Nigerians were dominating our industry. It's not just music. The movies were all here. The days of Igodo. And Ghanaians even started speaking like Nigerians. You do something and they say Tofiakwa. They were doing, I'm going to Baba to curse you and all that. So Samuel Nyamiche said, okay, how do I make Ghanaians consume Ghanaian? Now, at point time T, they love Nigerian. So do a collaboration. Once they keep doing the collaborations and they start saying, okay, if you run it, what the Nigerians are doing pari passu or alongside the Ghanaians are also good because you would place the one who died, Kwame Dadzie, alongside Ramsey Noah Patata, and he's doing so well. So after that, then he stopped the Nigerian collaboration and introduced Ejako. So Nanama McBrown was part of the cast, not the cast, but the crew. She was not going to be part of the crew. Somebody had to move a vehicle, a cast. He couldn't do it. And you know, Nanama is seen as Obabema. She's sharp with those things. Then she sat behind it, boom, 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 and moved it. And I said, you are good. Then they put her on screen. So look at how we unearth talent that way. So when you tell the story behind those things, it encourages others. That sometimes we need to give people chance. Sometimes we need to harness from obscure places. And we don't do that often. It is like, one day, Kwame, the last time I was discussing this with you, that speak to your production team. Look at how Ghana movie has gone down. And anytime the discussion comes up, and their only excuse is when the Doomso came. No, we should move beyond that.
A filmmaker writes beside.
Yeah, when the Doomso came, the Doomso 2014-16 affected it. It's moved on. But what are we doing to position ourselves so that our movies also become big? But we are not doing that. And everybody, why do we revel in big story headline? This Ghanaian movie is on Netflix. Is that all we want? That one Ghanaian movie will be on Netflix? I think that we should be using movies to even change the mindset. We keep talking about NCC helping us in our rights and responsibilities, but we can use movies to change that narrative. Why do you watch an American movie and you think that America is a superpower? Because they have sent one man to go to Vietnam to kill 800 soldiers to release a prisoner. So they have put that in your mind. We should be doing that, using creative arts. And I think that when we have such discussions, know how positive our movie makers like this gentleman here can picture the story, put it in the minds of Ghanaians. They would talk to us about it. Kwame, there is no change in value. When I say it, everybody, what came to the value is the same. We use creative arts to do when we're doing the CD redenomination. Creatives are very good with these things, but we don't harness it. You are watching a movie, somebody abuses their wife. A friend comes there, was young cost of no. We should use movies to say that when you are abused by your spouse or something, the first point of call is the police station. When we do that, right? Now, why are you going to suffer? But you should be advising that. So we should use movies to change that narrative. And I think that we should be getting there. We should be getting there. Ghanaian movie is going down, and maybe when he is in it, they should talk about why we're going down and how we deal with that.
All right, Austine Woode here on Joe 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. Also joining us today for Music Lab is Nana Esihine. Hey, money. Brahima.
Creative mind.
Nana Esihine is a creative mind. He's a filmmaker, he's a fashion designer, he's a musician. People don't know the music side of you. But he's here today to do the music side. And then our man, our free man. Coach Freeman is here as well. Hi, Coach.
Hey, brother.
How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the difference in the voice, Coach?
Yes.
You see the difference?
So he said, hi, yeah, Money, how are you doing? You good?
Yeah. That's a Komala Dumo baritone. You should be on radio.
All right, guys, but before we get into Music Lab, Austine, introduce this song.
Music coming from Okonfo Kwade. Music released way back in 2001. He calls this one Meba Monchen, produced by Maurice Babyface. Now Maurice the Voice. This is a classic new piece of Ghanaian music. We call it hip life. It is from here. We've combined hip hop and our life. Okonfo Kwade Meba Monchen on the album. This is good music. And when we talk about Okonfo Kwade, his journey into Ghanaian music, he first went, when we started the Miss Ghana pageant, at a point in time, they introduced a rap segment. And the first winner was Terry Bunchaka of blessed memory. In that first edition, Terry Bunchaka won. Okonfo Kwade came second. His name is Michael Anaba, Jerry Anaba. Showbiz name, Okonfo Kwade. This is good music.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And that's a comfort quad with me, Bamunche. A bro pain saying such him. Joe 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. Still having a conversation with the man Austine the controversial Woode. He spent some time in the UK. Austine, so let's talk about creative industries.
Yeah.
What you have witnessed in the UK compared to what you have seen in Ghana. What's the difference?
I think that they accept their own, and anytime there is a show, a Ghanaian show. Kwame, the last time I called you, you see the numbers that Blacko Stoneboy gets.
Yes,
that we are hailing them, right? The gospel people get same or more. Yeah, they charge similar as well. So I went for a show which was I think that Ernest Champion of Young Missionaries fame, and I told you I was shocked because on the bill was OJ, there was Dinah Hamilton as well. So I'm thinking that they also had 1,500 plus like Blacko and the rest get. So I'm like, okay, Dinah Hamilton had just won I think Artist of the Year. Okay. OJ too has a certain style that people, it's a niche market, OJ, so maybe they brought them there. But shockingly, majority of the people were there wanting to hear the Young Missionary song. Exactly. Because I realized that they had gone to the UK when they were young. And that was when, when you hear Emmanuel, when you hear, it brings certain memories. So for me, Kwame, I asked myself, how did Burna Boy, who was featured on Hosanna by Shatawale, just had that quantum jump over us? I think we were there in petty competition amongst ourselves when the competition is against the world out there. Because I asked myself, when they did Hosanna back in 2014, 2015, right? Shatawale was 3 times bigger than Burna Boy. Shatawale has been doing well since that time. He's gone up. He's been featured by Beyonce. But Kwame, now, Burna Boy across the world is like 10 times bigger than Shatawale. When the final of the UEFA Champions League was being played, UEFA Champions League, 2 European clubs playing the final of their topmost club football, then they say that Burna Boy should perform at that event. What are we doing? So sometimes I ask myself, we talk about, we have gone to the UK. Stoneboy had 1,200. Somebody had 1,500. I had bigger than you. I had no. I think that there is a huge market we can harness out there. But what we keep doing is always competitiveness, which is negative. If competitiveness is positive, right, it helps the industry to grow. But for ours, right, somebody will take pictures of 1 hour into the show and post it earlier that, you see, he did not get people. Why do we do that to ourselves? I envisage a point in time where Sarkodie, Black Sherif, Stoneboy, Shatawale, Kwame Eugene, Samini, Dinah Hamilton, we would say that we are having a Ghanaian concert on Ghanaian Independence Day or Nkrumah Memorial Day, because he is the greatest African icon of all time. So if we choose his birthday, that we are taking our music to places like the UK where there's a huge African population, Kwame, we do proper groundwork and hit a 10,000 capacity auditorium, it will be a stepping stone for us. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about individual things. I have done 1,002. I have done 1,005. I am better than him. My songs are doing better than him. I have a problem with that. I have moved away from such discussions in the industry. I don't want to be involved in such discussions. I want the industry. So that's why I'm happy with the new Sarkodie.
Okay.
He's now a creative business mind. He's dovetailing into the Jay-Z type. Now, I don't think that Jay-Z will go for an interview and somebody will ask him about ether and he would even answer. Obe Ferry Christ Obe Bisan about ether. But let Samini come here, we'll ask him about Scatter Bad Mind, you and Shatawali, you and Sarkodia, you and all that. Jay-Z now produces the Super Bowl halftime performance. Look at how big that thing is. And look at how he has put people in a circle on. That is what I envisage for us as an industry. Because a Sheke or something, why is he bigger than, why is Thames bigger than Ethia? Where is Becca? Where is Becca? You see, why does Jackie just get up and say she's going to play a tour in UK? Jackie, you can't do it.
She can't?
No, she's not positioned herself well enough to be able to get there. You were doing a tour. So you genuinely think that you can play 3-5 shows and get maximum capacity as Jackie? There has to be something we have to do. But I think that we are not getting it right because we are not putting proper systems and mechanisms in place as an industry. It's like, you know, the internet sensation, the one Shatawali said you should get Brandon. The one he became an internet and every radio was inviting him. Akokwa something, the guy.
Safu
Newman. Really? Great, brilliant voice. But no proper. Shatawali might have his flaws. But what he said, it's like a prophecy. He came through. He told the guy that brand yourself properly and stop going to radio stations call you and you are going for interviews because you think you are big. Now see, he's just a flash in the pan. So I think that there are certain things we are not doing right because I don't see how Ashake has become so big. Burna Boy has become that huge than Shatawale. For Sarkodie, sometimes I appreciate it because you see, the last time, Kwame, I had this discussion with you. Put Drake aside, but do we have anybody doing hip-hop music outside of America who has become that huge?
Hip-hop music. Sarkodie is huge. You bet you're laughing.
Yeah, no.
Sarkodie is huge.
So if you look at what Ashake is doing, I know he is not doing that. But now if you put both outside of Africa out there, I think that Ashake might beat him.
Ashake is not a rapper.
Yeah, I know. That is why I'm saying that for Sarkodie, I appreciate it because he's doing rap and it's difficult to use that kind of music to achieve what the others are doing. But I think that Stone Boy should be bigger than the names I'm mentioning.
Wow.
And we have to put certain measures in place. I think that the infighting, I'm better than you and all that has to cease at a point because it's not putting food on the table. It's not helping the ecosystem. Like Sarkodie keeps talking about that. We want to achieve something where it helps the ecosystem. We are not looking at that. Policymakers are not listening to that. When we had the vetting of our minister, the minority leader is a key figure when it comes to policy decisions in the country. He did not know that we had a creative arts fund. And when he was asking that question on a false premise, I expected our minister, who was a ranking member that time, to correct him even before answering. Kwame, just last week, because of the Black Stars World Cup, it came out that the sports development bill, as passed cabinet, is going to parliament. You see how the sports people are galvanizing the support. Let's put the money in ours. It's already past that stage. It's become law. How have we harnessed it? How has it become functional? So some of the things we have discussions on. I think that I'm better than you. My song is number 1 and number 2.
Pitching artists against
pitching artists against each other. We should move away from that.
And Coach Freeman, who is better?
Who is better? Who is better? We position them and all that. We should be moving away from that because that is for fanatics. But for we who are industry players, who have knowledge, who have acquired knowledge, who read, who want to position this industry so that it creates jobs, We should move away from what the fanatics are doing
Great.
so that we inform policy. That is what we should be discussing. Not what I'm better than my show had 1,005. Oh, first, you couldn't fill stadium. You couldn't fill stadium is what we are talking in 2025. I told you, Jejereje, Stone Boy should be dominating Francophone West African countries. What did he do with the Jejereje song? He should be dominating Francophone West African countries with that song. Because when Kandabongo Man did the song, it was popular in Ghana. At a point in time, we had segments on drive time shows in this country where Francophone music was played for 45 minutes. Why? Because the music was traveling across the African continent. We get that, and we are not able to do that. Lastly, I would come to movies. You see, Africa has the biggest youthful population in the world. Africa. Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the world because not everybody in Brazil is black. So a country of 200 million plus, and even sometimes our data, we don't take it properly. Imagine a Nigerian, that's a movie, sells it for $1, and you get 1% of their population buying that movie. How much are you getting? But the kind of movies I see my wife and my mother-in-law watching, I don't identify Africanness in it anytime they are watching it. And I'm saying this not because I want Africanness to go to the juju man and all that. But sometimes I watch what is happening and I'm saying that this does not happen in any African home. You are doing these movies to target people outside of the African domain. But imagine you target the 500 million African youth population with that movie that they identify with. We are looking at certain things that it is not helping us. Kwame, I'm telling you, if we are able to break that code, right, we would know that there is so much potential in this industry we are in. But we don't know how to break this code. And that is where I think we find the difficulty in making an ecosystem where everybody would enjoy from it.
Thank you very much, Austine Woode. But I could see that you want to say something.
Say something, yes. So, I think there's one problem about Ghana.
Okay.
And this is probably came from the 80-20 principle that 20% of the things you do right bring you 80% of the results. Okay. Now, it's the same problem with music, same problem with possibly sports, same problem with anything that we do in the creative arts that has like a consumer side. What we're doing is we're converting all our consumers into critics. Instead of growing our consumers. Imagine I'm manufacturing baskets and I manufacture 1,000 baskets, but there's nobody to buy. I just have people who come and look at the baskets and say the baskets are bad. I want them in green. It should be blue instead. That's what we've done. So everybody in Ghana is a critic. And instead of us spending the time to make sure that Ghanaians can patronize Ghanaian music, we haven't done that. Instead of making sure that Ghanaians can, not want to, buy Ghanaian movies, we haven't done that. But we're just criticizing all the industries and there's so much talk. Now, there's a conversation going on about if only the film industry in Ghana can reach 1% of
distribution.
1% distribution.
Yeah.
Just 1% distribution. That's about 350,000 people. Forget my numbers.
Yeah.
Even if I can sell a film for 50 CDs to half of the 1%, there's no need for Netflix for that matter. But even the data that backs that will make Netflix want to put my movie there because then they know that they have a Ghana base and this piece of content will bring Ghana.
Yeah.
We've talked for centuries, decades. I think we should just stop talking and realize that if this is business, what is the selling point? How do people walk into a shop and buy music? Literally, how can people purchase music? How can people pay money for music? How can people pay money for films? The day we solve that and we start making some small coins, we realize, oh, so here we're talking too much. Let's just sell films. Whether it is foreign films, Ghanaian films, film that exposes our culture, that does not expose our culture, that whatever it is, the day we start selling proper, we would then understand that there's profit, and we'll stop talking about things that do not matter.
Why aren't we selling proper?
Because I think, one, we are spending time on the wrong things. Ghanaian gutters are dirty. We all know that. It's because the things that lead to excellence is like a burger, bread, then you add tomatoes, and you add this, and you add this, and you add that. The things that lead to excellence doesn't start from, it's not a big leap, it's little things. We've ignored all the little things that lead to excellence, and we are talking about the big things. If we start the little things, if I stream, I make it a point to stream Ghanaian music, say 10 tracks a week, and you do the same, all of a sudden our numbers jump.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, just 10 tracks, all of a sudden it jumps. Same for movies. It's these little steps that we need to take that will move the industry forward. Kasano Ados.
Ados so still Rebecca Sende. Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. This is we're getting into the music lab segment now. You can send your questions or comments ahead of time. 055 11 11 997. We have in the studio